Hi, welcome to Watercolor Minis. This is the first watercolor tutorial. We're going to be painting a mini house today. We're going to start by ripping a 9x12 sheet of Arches cold press watercolor paper into 8 pieces. You can use any watercolor paper you wish at any size. The dimensions of my mini paper are 4.5 centimeters by 3 centimeters. Step 1, the sketch. Here's an outline of my drawing for your reference. I marked 3 centimeters in on each side of my paper to mark the edge of the house. I drew a line connecting the marks for the foundation. What matters here is that each side's distance from the edge is the same, so the house is centered on the page. Keep symmetry in the horizontal and vertical so it looks best. Then I drew a line at the top for the roof, slightly less wide than the house on the top and slightly wider than the house on the bottom. I marked the middle point and indicate a triangle at the top for an additional roof accent. Then I add windows, a fence, a porch, and planters to the sketch. You want to try and remove as much pencil as possible with an eraser before painting on top. Since watercolor is transparent, unwanted pencil marks may show through. Step 2. Tape down that paper. Tape down your paper along the edges nice and tightly to a table or flat surface. I don't stretch the paper or pre-wet it at all. I like to jump right into painting and don't really find stretching paper necessary for my projects. Step 3. Watercolor wash. Next, I use the wet on wet technique to create the sky. I do this by wetting my paintbrush and removing some of the excess water on my paper towel so it's not dripping wet. Then I apply some water to the sky area so that it has a sheen when you look at it against the light. If you go over a line, you can soak up the water using paper towel lightly. Use a very diluted mix of cobalt blue and water, or whatever blue you have. I purposely missed some areas to indicate clouds. I used the same mix and added it to this window squares as they would reflect the sky. Then I painted the front of the house in a mix of cobalt blue and burnt sienna. You can use any gray blue mix that you have and dilute it with water. Apply darker tones to the shadow areas, and you can wait also, if you like, until the layer dries and apply a shadow. Next, I painted the roof with mainly burnt sienna and a touch of cobalt blue. Lots of water is needed in this wash. Using yellow and cobalt blue with a touch of burnt sienna, I put in the background trees, including the bottom trees through the fence, as rectangles. I also color in the green potted plants with more yellow. The terracotta pots are burnt sienna, super diluted with a bit of white page left dry to show highlights. Next, I added a purple and cobalt blue mix to the trimming and door frames. And lastly, step 4, you're going to draw in those lines and patterns with your any black ink pen. I used a Muji black 0.5 millimeter pen, and it doesn't really matter how waterproof they are if you really let it dry. Thanks for watching my video.